One of the questions that we commonly get is, when do I bring my teenage child for counseling? And I think there's a multiple parts to that in terms of what you have to think through as parents. One of those can be if you feel like you're over your head in terms of the situation that's going on. We don't want to take your role as parents here at Mountain View. We want to come alongside you, help care for you guys as a family so that you're trying to help your teen navigate whether it be difficult relationships or difficult emotions or difficult circumstances, struggles in school, whatever it might be. We want to come alongside and help with that and give not just the kids some of the tools to help navigate those, but also you as parents tools in that. And that can look like individual counseling with the teenager. That can look like family sessions if that's what you're desiring. But then we can really come alongside you guys and help, not to take over the parenting role, but to help facilitate that growth in your family. The other thing to consider is if there's been a traumatic or difficult event for the teenager. Often it can be really hard to start to process through those things, figure out, based on what I believe, what I, think I believe, what I'm wrestling with, how do I process through this difficult circumstance that happened? And at Mountain View, we want to care well for those teens and give them tools to help process through it now, but also for 10, 15, 20 years down the road, because they're going to face difficult circumstances in life. They're going to struggle at different times in life. And we want to help prepare them as best we possibly can for the future. One of the important things is helping those teens see the hope that they have in Christ and ultimately start to help build that foundation of faith that's often important to you as parents, but also to them as they're trying to figure out, how do I navigate the difficulties of this world? When things don't seem to make sense, how do I process through that? What is the lens that I see that through? And at Mountain View, we really want to help to enter into that space and care for those teens well. The other thing to consider is if your pastor perhaps recommended that you seek counseling. Sometimes pastors are able to give that direction to you, and we're a place that we would love to help care for your family, care for you, and again, not take over the parenting role, but really come alongside your family in the counseling room to care for you in terms of what the needs are. That can be just difficult family circumstances you're navigating. That can be family conflict. But we want to bring the hope and care of Christ to those situations. And so as you're figuring out, do I bring my teen for counseling? Do I not? A really great option is to just schedule a consultation if you're not sure. Our counselors will be happy to talk through it with you, give you feedback in that consultation of, yeah, hey, this seems like it would be a good step, or if we need to, we can point you in a different direction or give you some resources to move forward. But those consultations can be really helpful to figure out, is this a step that I should take? Is this the right place to take this step? And so I think it's realizing too that oftentimes it can feel like, am I making the right choice to care for my teen by doing this, or am I forcing them to do this? As parents, we want to care for our children well. And so that can lead to a lot of pressure on our shoulders to make the right choice every time and figure out what is best for them. But sometimes we need those people outside of us to speak into our lives that have insight. And we want to be a part of that process at Mountain View for those that need it.